is going out. I'm done. I started bravely on Thursday, and that braveness is going to continue. And we're putting out the rest of my tomatoes. My cucumbers are going out. My peppers are going out. Everything is going out. So that's what we're doing first and foremost today. This is not a full video. It's just showing you what I'm putting out at the weekend now that my tomatoes, which I put out on Thursday, survived the cold nights and are doing fine, standing tall and proud, not wilting or whinging. I'm sure they're going to be happy in there. So let us get on and put out the others. I don't know whether to leave this. You see, the problem is potatoes have similar diseases to tomatoes. So I don't want to have a potato in this. So I'll need to pull this out and try and find it another home, because it would be great to let it grow. This cabbage, I wonder what it's doing in there, poor thing. I need to spread it out, but let's not digress. We're going to put the rest of the tomatoes in. I'm also putting out my cucumbers. So we've got Alice's Dream. So Alice's Dream is going in. And then I've got Ananas Noir is going in. Tiny Tim will go into a small pot because they don't... oh my God, I've got another Constelluto Fiore. And this is Solar Flare, nice big tomato. That's also going in. This one has no name. I have no clue what it is. This one is another Solar Flare. So I've got two Solar Flares. I think I think these two are probably Tiny Tims, so they'll go somewhere else. My peppers are going out as well. Guys, I'm not mollycoddling any plants for any longer. So these guys are going in as well. I've got habanada, two habanadas there. Which one is this one? I think this might be a California Wonder. Another habanada. The habanadas did really, really well and survived well. Patchwork pepper over here. And then here, what's this one? I don't know. I think this might be another California Wonder. And guess what, guys? Look at my cucumber plant, which has been under those light bulbs I told you about. See how gorgeous that is. It is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? So it's going out. What's this one? Yeah, this is a California Wonder, another one. So all these guys are going to be put in the ground in order that Stella can stop mollycoddling any babies. Right, let me get on and do that. I'll pull you back when I'm done. We're getting there. It's taken longer than I expected. I thought I'd be able to go to the allotment, but I might have to rest because I'm feeling tired already. I've put in my sun gold in that corner there. And I've got a solar flare here. This one is a pineapple pig. Here is an ananas noir, Alice's Dream, and the back ones you've already seen. But habanada pepper, California Wonder, Tom Thumb, patch your size, California Wonder, patchwork pepper, the pepper, cucumber, which I hope will live because I managed to break most of the roots off. Don't ask. And another habanada pepper here. So we're getting there, and I'm happy with what I've done so far. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able... I've moved the greenhouse from this space here because I don't need a greenhouse now because the weather is so warm here now. This area is hot enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another one of those water reservoirs with a pot on top so I can put one of my remaining tomatoes in it because, excuse the mess, because we're in the middle of working. But I've got quite a few tomatoes, some of which are going to go in the back, but others are going to... one or two more are going to be put into pots in the front. Something else I'm putting in today are my aubergines, which have been sat in the greenhouse since the beginning of March, and they were doing absolutely fine in there. But I noticed that there were some ants trying to farm some aphids on here. I managed to get rid of all of them, but then I've just seen an ant looking around, even trying to find the aphids. So now I'm just, getting them into the ground. you know, that I don't have to worry about them either. I think I've got another Tom Thumb here, and I may put it into this planter here, my herb planter, because I've got a section here where it can go and it will grow absolutely fine. So let me get on and do those. These are faster onions and they're actually doing well in this planter because I've got a self-watering system within it. Although saying that, what's that? I have to look it up and see. But I've got fresh leaf growing, so I'm not too worried. Okay, guys, I'm still in south-facing garden because there's still work to be done. We're getting there, but I wasn't going to record this, but then I realized that someone will actually come up and ask me, Stella, how did you do that? What did you do? Is there something different that you did? And also someone was asking me the cheapest material I've used for my self-watering systems, and so I thought I'll show you now, in order that later on, if anyone is planning to do it in this growing season, they can get on and do it. Look at the blue sky. Okay, this is the cheapest material I've found that works well and is actually sitting underneath one of these pots. And as you can see, my pots, there's water all the way to the top where the soil stops, and so my systems are running absolutely fine. And this is a good way of knowing whether or not your pots have enough water. As you can see in here, this is wet to here, and I've got that, and I've got a hole. I made this hole bigger so that I can actually easily check and see whether or not my reservoir is full, and so that works well. But at the moment, now that I've moved the greenhouse out of the way, I'm trying to create another planting spot here. In fact, I'm going to get another one here, so I'm going to have quite a few plants along here. But it looks so nice, guys, honestly. I just love the way it looks, and once the tomatoes start growing, it's going to look fantastic. But let's not get sidetracked. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to do a layered gardening system, a layered pot in pot system, which I saw online. I've forgotten the lady's name, but she's a Californian lady who does it all the time, and it's something I've wanted to try. It's basically where you actually get a pot, put it within another pot, fill it with soil, fill this with soil, you plant here and you plant there as well. But something else I'm also going to do is I'm going to put an in-pot composting system in here. So it's going to sit on the side here next to this pot. So it's going to be a pot in pot in pot. So the in-bed composting system is going to sit here. This pot is going to sit here. I'm considering whether I'm using the big bed pot or whether I'm going to use this pot. I think this pot will be better because then we still have a big bed to use here. And so what you do is you put your soil in, sit this on top, put soil in it and plant something in it. The roots will go straight down into the other bed whilst not crowding whatever you put in here. So let's get on and do that now, because this is what I've wanted to do, and therefore it is what I'm going to do. I just realized I didn't explain something. So the way I actually work, if your microfiber cloth that you're using, this is the cheapest option I've ever had, microfiber cloth. If it's small, what I do is I cut it like this, so then half of it will actually go down into your reservoir, whilst the other half will actually sit in your pot. And as you can see, this is enough to go right down into the bottom of the reservoir, and also to go into a pot if you're using plastic pots, or to sit on top of your reservoir if you're using fabric pots. So if I'm actually going to sit it under the bag, the fabric bag, what I would do is I would actually have a larger section on the outside and then a small section on the inside, because once the water is pulled up, it will spread onto this larger section and provide a larger surface area on which the pot can actually sit and absorb water from more than just a small spot. So that is how I would actually use microfiber cloth, and it pulls up water very beautifully. Now I've actually just realized that I bought some of these pots because I was supposed to pot up my tomatoes, but I've realized I don't like putting up tomatoes, so I'm going to put that back, and I'm going to put 2 pots in the back and plant something in them, and then leave the front free. But to ensure that my pot will actually have enough of the moisture from the main bed, I'm actually going to put in a small bit of wicking material into the pot itself and take it about halfway up, and then push the rest into this soil, because then what will happen is it will suck water from the soil and take it up to this pot. So I'm going to do that to the 2 pots that I'm going to use for extra growing space. And then this is the pot, a smaller flower pot I'm going to put in here to work as my in-bed composting bin. So slight change, but still going along the same plan. Guys, it is done. So all I've got to do is to clear up all these pots, but I am done. I am done. Everything is in. Stella is happy, and we have our trio pot. Let me show you how I've done up one of the pots. But my tomato alley has started. It has begun, and it's looking fantastic. I'm loving it already. Let me show you. So in this planter, I've actually put 3 plants plus my in-bed composting system, which is going to run from here. So I dug these down. These are flower pots, which are quite deep. And so it isolates the plants from each other to a certain extent. So in here, we have what is this? Oh, solar flare. And this is a patchwork which was dying. So I thought, let me put you in here and see how you do. If you succeed in surviving, that would be fantastic. And then I've got Alice's Dream here as well. And she was a little bit limp and whingy, but she's gone into here and hopefully she'll be doing fine. So we got 3 plants in here. They're isolated from each other to a certain extent, but they'll be all sourcing the same water from this system here in this 40-gallon jug. In here, I've got one of my, I think this is about 30 liters pot, which lasts a bit longer. And I've put my Constelluto di Fiore. That's it, Constelluto di Fiore. And this one already has flowers on it. So hopefully we should have some plants in there, some fruits in. But I am loving this. I always love things when they're interplanted. In here I've got a bit of fennel, garlic, and a tomato. So I might add a bit of my remaining fennel into some of these beds and transplant some of my Chinese kale as well. In here I have my sun gold, which is doing fine. So all I need is a hanging basket in order that I can actually put my tumbling tom in there. But all in all, the space is looking so much nicer, and I am very happy. In here, I've added my aubergine. So this year, my aubergines that I'm doing are the Listada de Granda. And so I've put 2 in there, and I've got another Turkish aubergine there. And I've put this Turkish aubergine was being eaten a little bit, but I'm not worried as it's not the central leaves that are being eaten. But I've sprinkled a bit of coffee there in the hope that it will help. This planter is doing fantastic, and I've just watered it. But I think I need to do what I've done to the other planters and put down a little bit of straw in order to reduce the evaporation, because at the moment the evaporation is really fast, and therefore it means that I'm having to water more regularly. But what I may do is, I think I put some flowers here, didn't I? Did I put flower here? I don't remember. Anyway, I need to, I might try and put a row of red celery here as well to see whether or not it will work. We're looking great. We're looking very great. All I need to do is beautify this one and everything will be looking fantastic. I'm very pleased. Very pleased. And then I'll sit here and have a cup of tea and enjoy the view with all the plants already in their spaces.